Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Orchid Solang, and this is your 2 o'clock news. John Rustad refuses to quit after being asked to resign, and the BC Conservatives are experiencing conflict within the party. Reporter Gabe Liesi has more on what's happening.
Conservative MLA Amelia Boultby's resignation from the BC Conservative caucus on Monday has thrown the party into further disarray. She is the 5th member to resign or be forced out of caucus since the provincial election last fall. The Conservatives have been trying to bring in more young people across the country, but UBC political scientist Stuart Prest says this will only hurt that cause.
It also has to find ways that it can present reasonable and nation-building solutions for the country. It's not going to work to simply try to continually burn down the house.
BC Conservative leader John Rustad was called on to resign earlier today by the BC Conservative Board of Directors. Gabe Liesi, BCIT News.
Wildland firefighters and forest ministry workers joined the picket lines with the BC General Employees Union. The BC Wildfire Service says that there are still 94 active wildfires in the province, with about 10% burning out of control. The union says essential service workers remain on the job. About 25,000 of the 34,000 members in the bargaining group are off the job, and more than 550 work sites are behind picket lines. A BC incorporated cryptocurrency exchange has been fined almost $177 million, the largest ever penalty by Canada's Financial Intelligence Agency. The violations are against Celltox Enterprises Limited and include failing to flag more than 1,000 transactions with suspected links to criminal activity. Sarah Paquette, the CEO of the Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Centre of Canada, says the violations were connected to trafficking in child sexual abuse material, fraud, ransomware payments, and sanctions evasions. The business operates as Cryptomus, previously known as Certa Payments Limited. They say in a statement that it will be cooperating with a regulator. A humpback whale calf struck by a high-speed ferry in English Bay last Friday could result in a negative effect on the local humpback whale population. Our reporter Gabriel Roy gives us more details on the issue.
It hasn't been confirmed if the calf was a male or a female. However, if it was a female, this could mean far-reaching consequences for the local whale population. If even a single mother is lost, we could potentially lose many more whales over time. The executive director of the Pacific Whale Watch Association, Erin Gress, gives her insights on the issue.
We have a whale that's really well known here in BC, nicknamed Big Mama, and she's had at least 8 babies in her life that we know of, and those babies have gone on to have babies of their own and babies of their own, and so that one whale is responsible for more than 20 whales in this population.
Gabrielle Rui, BCIT News.
How are gamers connecting with each other? Keone Mo has more on this story.
Yumi Chang is a local gamer. She also is a user of the online social platform targeted towards gamers, Discord. Using the app, Yumi has made some of the most meaningful connections in her life. Discord allows users to create their own servers, which in turn allows people to create their own communities. You can usually find official servers for any interest that you might have, from Pokemon cards to Call of Duty to just your own personal friends. Not only has Chang found friendship, but also love in her partner. She says without the platform, her life would be different.
Without Discord, without any of that, I would not have met the love of my life. And we have real plans to live together, and he plans to move here.
Chang's partner will be meeting her family for the first time in December. She hopes it will be the first Christmas of many spent together. Keone Mo, BCIT News.
In national news, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is trying to downplay comments he made about Justin Trudeau. Poilievre implied on a recent podcast that former Prime Minister should have been jailed for Liberal scandals. He also accused the RCMP of covering up for Trudeau. Poilievre clarified today that it wasn't the rank-and-file RCMP he was criticizing.
My criticisms of Miss Lucky have been long-standing, and that's why we called for her to resign. We called for her to resign for a number of numerous scandals that she and the RCMP failed to investigate, for the political interference, the appalling political interference in the Portapic shooting case, and countless others. We've had long-standing criticisms of Miss Lucky.
Brenda Lucki was the RCMP commissioner who Poilievre says covered up for Trudeau and the Liberals. Canadians who file their personal income taxes incorrectly have no legal recourse if given inaccurate information from the CRA. The Office of Auditor General Karen Hogan reports that CRA staff answered just 17% of the tax questions accurately. They placed calls to the CRA's contact centers over 4 months this year. Hogan's office reports was released on Tuesday saying that the CRA isn't concerned with the accuracy of information they provide to callers. Lawyers David Rothfleisch says that under the Income Tax Act, Canadians are responsible for filing accurate tax returns, and they should not rely on the CRA. Federal Director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation says that the CRA's performance is, quote, horrendous, and that the government needs to simplify tax code. A group of current and former Global Affairs Canada employees say the department does not take their complaints about racism seriously. The Black Class Action Secretariat is mounting legal challenges, claiming systemic racism and discrimination in the public service. It's citing cases of Global Affairs Canada staff whose complaints were rejected by internal panels before being upheld by the courts. The group's head, Nicholas Marcus Thompson, says department reforms don't include independent panels, which leads to issues seen at other federal agencies.
We've seen the same pattern at Global Affairs. There is a mechanism to report discrimination. That mechanism blocks it. Workers are silenced. And while those workers are held back, the leaders advance. So it's clear in the case of Global Affairs that the Values and Ethics Committee have silenced many workers.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says discrimination in any form is unacceptable and weakens the public service. She says she will be looking into at least one of these cases. Now, in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump suggested that he could ask the Department of Justice for $250 million in compensation for the investigations he faced during the Biden administration. The payment would have to be approved by the DOJ from lawyers who were once on Trump's defense team. Legal experts say that this is a major conflict of interest. Reporter Alex Mallon has more.
The president said that he was very damaged by these cases and this process. He also said that if he were to get that money from the Justice Department, of course his Justice Department, that he would potentially give it to charity, or he even said the White House.
Trump signaled his interest in compensation during a White House appearance last week with Todd Blanche, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Attorney General Pam Bondi. A new report from a global alliance of public broadcasters say that AI chatbots make mistakes with the news content nearly half of the time. The study looked at how AI chatbots answer questions about news and current affairs involving 22 public media organizations in 18 countries. Journalists say they found at least one significant problem with 45% of the AI answers. Mistakes noted were serious problems with sourcing and major accuracy issues. The European Broadcasting Union says in a latest press release that the AI chatbots routinely misrepresent news content. Moving on to sports, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says Bad Bunny is still on this year's Super Bowl halftime show. The Puerto Rican artist and American citizen has been critical of U.S. President Donald Trump's immigration policies, avoiding playing shows in the country. Goodall told a news conference today that there are no plans to change, despite right-wing media and commentators criticizing their decision.
It's carefully thought through. I would say that I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism. It's pretty hard to do when you have literally hundreds of millions of people that are watching.
He says his decision was made to have Bad Bunny perform due to his immense popularity.
We're confident it's going to be a great show, and that he understands the platform that he's on, and I think it's going to be exciting and a united moment.
Freddie Freeman's Canadian roots will be on display when the Los Angeles Dodgers meet the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series. The Dodgers' first baseman says he's always happy to return to Toronto, even if the Blue Jays fans might not give him a warm reception. His father's from Windsor and his late mother from Peterborough, and he's represented Canada at the World Baseball Classic.
I love going back to Toronto. It's a special place for obviously my family and I. And every time I go back there, I feel a little bit closer to my mom. So I'm looking forward to getting there tomorrow.
The Dodgers face the Blue Jays in Games 1 and 2 of the World Series in Toronto on Friday and Saturday. The Los Angeles Lakers kick off their 2025-26 campaign today against the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James is set to miss the opener due to lower back and leg pain. ESPN's Bobby Marks says James' health is going to be key for the Lakers going forward.
I think the biggest question is going to be where LeBron is health-wise. Certainly, he's going to be out to start the season. How is his body when we get into the end of next year, when he becomes a free agent?
James has repeatedly said he does not know whether he will retire after the season, only saying that at the end to the longest career in NBA history will be, quote, sooner than later. The Toronto Blue Jays are heading to the World Series, where they will take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Blue Jays manager John Schneider previewed the matchup.
I truly think that the best two teams are left standing, for a variety of different reasons. And I'll never count my guys out of any series. You know what I mean? It's going to be fun. They're going to be up for it.
The Blue Jays have a home field advantage in the best of 7 series as they finished the regular season with 94 wins, one more than the Dodgers. The San Francisco Giants hire Tennessee Volunteer coach Tony Vitello, a college coach with no pro experience. Giants executive Buster Posey says it is a bold gamble for them. The 47-year-old Vitello is making the jump after spending his entire career at the college level. Vitello guided the Vols to its first NCAA title last year. And now for your weather in Metro Vancouver, we have a low of 9 and a high of 13 today in Burnaby. The rest of the day is looking to be cloudy with the sun expected to peak out. That was your 2 o'clock news. I'm Orchid Solang, and thanks for tuning in.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT.
I would recommend this program for anyone that isn't sure what kind of job they want in media, because you learn everything from public relations to communications to video editing, like radio, TV. So you do get a lot of experience in all the different fields in media.